Welcome to Up Level, Real Health, Real Talk with Dr. Jenna Blasi. I'm Dr. Jenna. I spent years crafting ways to help women thrive, and I want to help you do the same. On this podcast, we dive deep into health at every level, focusing on the mind, the body, and the spirit. This is where real conversations meet transformational wellness. We'll be talking about all the things that truly matter, from nutrition and fitness to lifestyle, mindset, and personal development. Plus, the real deal on managing stress and navigating menopause. So if you're ready to elevate your health journey with authentic, transformative insights, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to Up Level. Today, I decided to kind of come at what we've been talking about from a slightly different angle. And I want to pose a question to you. What do you believe about your ability to change, to heal, to grow? We talked about decision last time, and I talked about different things that affect decision, but let's talk about a deeper issue. We talked about fear. A lot of the times that fear comes from our belief about our ability to change or to heal or to grow or to find the money that we need to do something that we really want to do. And so there are so many times in life where maybe you almost gave up, but you didn't. Health, life, business, and maybe all those times that you did give up. And we have to stay the course, right? If we want to change our lives. So today we're going to talk about a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset, because I didn't actually know these labels until I read the book titled Growth Mindset. I think it was called The Psychology of Success by Carol Dweck. And it's a really important topic because we're doing this automatically, and we might be a little bit aware of whether or not we have a fixed or growth mindset, but we might not really know what that means. I didn't fully know what it meant. And so I think it's an invitation to really go into what are the beliefs that are holding us back, right? Maybe you're not stuck. Maybe you just haven't grown yet. What if you thought of it that way? So how can we think differently and really look at those times that we persevered and the magic that happens when we do? Because the truth is, it's not in our habits. It's not in our discipline. It's not in our genetics. It's in our belief about what's possible. I know that contradicts some of what I've said. Of course, our habits matter and our disciplines matter. But what comes before that? When I talked about decision last time, what comes before making a decision? Belief. If you don't believe you can do something, if you don't believe something will help you, then you're not going to make a decision on it. It's belief. And so it is not your habits, your discipline, your genetics. It is your belief about what is possible. And I hope I can inspire you to believe that whatever you really put your mind to is possible. Because once we start believing in what's possible, we find all the ways that we can make it happen. When we believe in the impossible, we have all the excuses and all the reasons why it can't happen. So most people are living in a fixed identity, not even just a fixed mindset. They've decided who they are, what they're capable of, and then they build their lives to reinforce this belief, right? Our reticular activating system is on automatic, and it's going to reinforce your belief system. You will see things that are in line with your belief system. So if you really want to change your life, change your belief system. So what is a fixed mindset? It is a belief that your abilities, your intelligence, your personality, or health are static. They're unchangeable. So it often shows up as, this is just how I am, or I'm not good at that, or it's too late for me, or this is just how it is, right? This is just, I'm a procrastinator. This is how I've always been. Versus, what is a growth mindset? It's a belief that you can change, grow, adapt with effort, with support, with time. That's why we have mentorship built into all of our wellness programs, because we have an amazing strategy with that support built in. Lives transform. So this growth mindset, this belief that we can change, we can grow, adapt, emphasizes learning from our mistakes, not running from them, not fearing failure, and seeing challenges as opportunities. So many of us never move forward with things because of our fear of failure. So in Carol Dweck's book, she refers to a fixed mindset as I am what I am. If it's hard, then I'm not good at it. And I was that way when I was little. If I wasn't good at something right away, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to work at it. I just quit at it. It's amazing to me the resilience that I've learned to have now as an adult because I quit so many things when I was younger. A growth mindset is, again, according to Dweck's work, I'm always becoming. Effort is how I grow. It's not a proof of weakness, right? If you have to try harder, effort is not proof of weakness. It's actually how we grow. So where could we see this in different places in our life? Health. Quote, I'll never lose weight. I'm too old. Versus, I haven't found what works for me yet. Or a positive affirmation, my body is responding to everything that I do. Business, you might say, I'm not tech savvy. Oh, I hate marketing. Versus in a growth mindset, these are just skills I haven't built yet. These are just skills I haven't built yet. Another way this could show up in business is you might say, I'm not cut out for this, right? First sign of obstacles, do you run? At the first sign of obstacles, do you give up? At the first sign of obstacle, whether it's a financial obstacle, something somebody else says to you, whatever it is, do you say, I'm not cut out for this. This isn't meant for me. Versus growth mindset, I'm still learning how to do this. Doesn't mean you're not cut out for it. I'm still learning how to do this. When we look at healing, I hear people say, I've always been anxious. I've always been anxious. I'm just an anxious person. My mom was anxious. I'm anxious. Everybody in my family is anxious. It's a very static view. It's a very fixed mindset, fixed identity versus I'm learning how to regulate my nervous system. I believe I can learn how to regulate my nervous system more effectively. And in aging, I see this all the time with menopausal women and perimenopausal women. It's so painful to me when I hear doctors say, this is just aging. You're just going to feel like crap. This is honestly why I do what I do, because I want to change this outdated narrative in menopause. It can be a time when we absolutely thrive. So the fixed mindset is this is what happens at my age. This is what happens at my age versus, again, my body is always responding to how I treat it. We have transformed 80-year-olds in their weight, their energy, their bowels, so many things. So it's not just your age. Your body is always responding to how you treat it. And that gives so much potential. When we have a growth mindset, there's so much potential. So what keeps people stuck in a fixed mindset or a fixed identity? Often it's fear of failure, fear of shame. It can also be childhood conditioning. We don't realize when we label kids like, oh, you're the smart one, though then there's this pressure to always get it right. It's hard as a parent to avoid these labels, but it's really important. Oh, she was the funny one. I was the athletic one. She's the smart one. She's the successful one. And then we have these systems built in. Parents do this, schools do this, that reward achievement over effort. And Carol goes into this in her book and actually shows that the kids that are rewarded for achievement, they actually don't want to try. They don't want to be challenged. They don't do as well long term. When they're rewarded for their effort, they welcome challenges because they're rewarded for their effort, right? You're always winning if you reward your progress, your efforts versus some end achievement. And that's why I say, like with goals, it's great to set goals. They're good for the soul. They're expanding, but let's measure from where we've come from and let's measure our achievements in terms of our progress, our disciplines, our efforts, our mindset. So fixed mindset can absolutely sabotage our process and our progress. So like if we're not enjoying the process because of the fixed mindset, we're not going to make progress, right? It keeps people in these same loops. They avoid risks. They avoid feedback. They avoid discomfort. I don't even know if saying that it sabotages process is the right word because we don't even have the right processes. We don't have the process in a fixed mindset is like, I'm just going to avoid this, but it will sabotage progress because you start trying and then, I got some negative feedback. Oh, I'm uncomfortable. Oh, this feels too risky. And you just run at the first sign of that adversity or challenge. So it undermines confidence. It undermines consistency. Bob Proctor said, decision is the spark that ignites action. So we talked about decision last week, right? You can see how these tie together. He says, decision is the spark that ignites action. Until you decide who you are and what you're committed to, nothing changes. That is belief. Until you decide who you are, you get to decide. Mary Morrissey said, your past does not determine your future unless you let it. You get to decide who you are. You get to decide what you're committed to. Are you committed to the old paradigm, the conditioning from childhood, all the people that told you you can't be successful or you can't do it or you'll always be chubby or whatever? Then nothing will change. But when you decide something different, when you commit to something different and you make a decision and that spark ignites action, everything can change. And this is true of healing. Growth mindset. A growth mindset is required with healing. Or said the flip way, healing requires a growth mindset. And as I said, this is why I do what I do, because you can change. You can get better. You can finally release the weight and have a different lifestyle once and for all. And we work with primarily perimenopausal and menopausal women, but we work with men. We work with younger people, transforming their lives. But many women think this is just how it is now. And they're told by their doctors, you just need to suffer. Your labs are normal. You're fine. You're crazy. Here, take this antidepressant. And so they have a fixed mindset about their hormones, about their weight, about their libido, about their family history. Well, I guess I'm just destined. Would you accept that with Alzheimer's? Oh, I'm just destined to have Alzheimer's. Like if you knew, if I gave you a chocolate cake and I said, eat this cake and it will guarantee, this is ridiculous, like metaphor, but eat this cake and it will guarantee that you will get Alzheimer's. Eat this other one and it will set you on a road towards avoiding Alzheimer's. You get to choose. Are you just going to say, no, this is how it is because it runs in my family, so I might as well eat the cake that will guarantee that I get Alzheimer's because I know I'm going to? No, get underneath these beliefs and believe that things can change and that you don't have to live out some health destiny that your mom or your dad did. Reframe this whole idea. What if your body could change with the right input, the right belief, and the right support? And I tell you, it absolutely can. If one person can do it, you can do it. And I watch it every day in my practice. The results that the women share with us bring tears to my eyes. Because with the right input, the right strategy, the right beliefs, you got to work on your belief or you won't even try new things, and the right support, that mentorship, the right guides, everything can change. So a growth mindset isn't just about business. It isn't just about learning. It's about believing that your body is capable of change, that you are capable of change. I help women reclaim their health, their identity, their joy, their agency, if you will. But it starts by believing they can. And I always, even in my webinars and this podcast, I hope I plant that seed that you can. Not all of you are going to work with me. I'm not available to all of you to work with me, but I want you to believe you can and find the right people to work with. I don't just teach nutrition or hormones. Those are all beneficial, but you can go gathering knowledge and Google this and Google that. It's really about becoming a new upgraded version of ourselves, a new expanded version of ourselves, and believing in something maybe we've never believed in because of bad marriages and things people told us when we were little. So I want to be really clear. A growth mindset isn't rah-rah positive thinking. It's a grounded belief that you can influence your outcomes. In anything. It is a grounded belief that you can influence your outcomes, business, health, relationships, self-image, finances, etc., even if the path is messy. But if we have a fixed mindset, we're going to avoid that mess. If you can't stand a mess, you're never going to bake a cake because the kitchen will get messy in the middle of baking the cake. But if you want a beautiful cake at the end, you got to deal with the mess and make a decision, and you get the ingredients and you get the strategy, you get the right recipe. Maybe you work with someone who's made something great before, and it's messy in the middle. And growth mindset, it's not only not rah-rah positive thinking, it's based in science. And there are so many examples of this. So many examples. Michael Jordan, arguably maybe the best basketball player of all time, cut from his high school basketball team. He could have just given up. I'm not cut out for this. I'm never going to be able to do this. But no. Instead, he not only didn't give up, he doubled down. It's a great illustration of embracing failure and using it to fuel growth. I loved watching that series on Netflix, The Last Dance, not because I love basketball, but because watching somebody with that kind of relentless pursuit for what they wanted and how they wanted to live, there's a lot to be learned from studying people who've been successful. Thomas Edison, how many thousands of failed attempts at the light bulb did he have? but he didn't see them as failures. I thought it was 10. I don't know if it was 10,000 or 1,000. I think it was 10,000 attempts, but let's say it was even 1,000. He says, I didn't fail. He found, 1,000 ways it didn't work. That is a classic example of a growth mindset. He had a vision. He didn't know how he was going to get there, but he just had a vision. He was committed to it, and he just kept trying and trying. So as I said earlier, like with students and learning, Dweck's research showed that students praised for effort. They stayed engaged, they improved, but those praised for intelligence, which is easy to do. Oh, you're so smart. They avoided challenges because they wanted to protect their identity. Are you avoiding failure? Where are you avoiding failure in your life? And there's examples in corporations, in leadership, companies with growth mindset cultures outperform those that fear mistakes and play it safe. So this plays out in our real life, from classrooms to careers to health journeys. It is so important. And so it almost should have preceded the episode on decisions, right? But let's make a decision right now. Make a decision if you're in a fixed mindset. And some of us, it's not black and white either. You may have areas where you have a fixed mindset and other areas where you have a growth mindset. So let's talk about how to begin shifting your mindset today. Make a decision today that you're going to shift to a growth mindset. So this starts with noticing our thoughts. Notice your thoughts. Is this a fixed thought or a growth thought? So fixed thoughts. I can't. I've always, and just label them. And they're excuses. Fixed mindset sound a lot like excuses. I can't, right? I used to take this Taekwondo class in Connecticut when I was doing my residency from my friend Michelle Andrews. And she was trained by Billy Banks, Taekwondo. And you were not allowed to say the word can't. And if anybody said can't during the class, like, I can't do anymore, I can't do one more push-up, we had to like drop and do like 100 push-ups. So, get rid of can't in your vocabulary and add yet to any disempowering statement. I'm not good at this yet. Have you ever heard, like, when you open a Chinese fortune, you're supposed to add embed, like whatever your fortune says, you add embed. Well, to any of your disempowering thoughts, add yet. I'm not good at this yet. I don't really understand marketing yet. And then surround yourself with growth-minded people. Seek mentorship, coaching, community that believes in you. That is one of the things that I love about our programs, because it's not just that I have an amazing team, which I do. I have a dream team. They're excellent, but we also have an amazing community. Every member that has a program with us is surrounding themselves with growth-minded people. And everybody on my team has to go to my mindset mentorship programs and have a growth mindset. And that's part of my interview process. When you're surrounded with growth-minded people, it encourages that behavior, it encourages that thought process, and it raises the bar. So seek mentorship, seek coaching, seek community that believes in you. Anyone that's telling you, trying to hold you back, limit your time with them. If it's someone you can cut out of your life, you might want to. If it's, family or someone, then, maybe just limit your time. Reframe failure as feedback. The rocket failed its way to the moon. Literally. Off course, course corrected. Off course, course corrected. So off course, we often see as failure. Just course correct. It's not, I ate the cookie, so let me eat the whole bag, and I'm a failure, and I suck at diets. Diets they're not comprehensive. They don't look at you as a whole person. You didn't fail the diet failed you. So reframe failure as feedback that you need something different, and celebrate your effort, not just the results. Results are great, but it's really about the effort. It's about the growth. With goals, I always say it's not about achieving the goal. It's not about the thing you get. It's about the growth that it takes to get there. So celebrate your effort and take aligned action. Even small moves reinforce new beliefs. So again, success, just a series of small wins stacked up over time. So you take aligned action, you're coming in integrity with yourself, and even those small moves are going to reinforce your new beliefs. So reflect on this. Who do I believe I am? And is that belief keeping me safe or keeping me stuck? Is your belief in yourself taking you to the moon and back? Or is it keeping you safe? Is it keeping you stuck? I have had interviews with people for our programs, and they don't move forward because they're afraid to fail. They're so afraid of failure that they don't move forward, but they're living in that failure. Because if you don't move forward, you're not going to succeed. If what you're doing isn't working, then you've already failed. The only failure is quitting. And if you just keep getting back up, it's not about perfection at all. It's about getting back up. Kids, they're learning to walk. They fall, they get up, they fall, they get up. They don't then just lay on the floor and go, well, clearly I'm not meant to walk, so I'm just going to lay here. No, they know they can do it, and they see everybody around them doing it. So decide that you're going to build a bigger version of yourself. Decide that you are going to create the self-image for yourself that you want, of who you want to be and who you want, what you want to be committed to, how you want to live. Again, to reiterate Bob's statement, decision is the spark that ignites action. So decide right now, because until you decide who you are and what you're committed to, nothing will change. And you're not behind. It's never too late, by the way. You could be 75, doesn't matter. You're not behind. You are one belief, this is kind of what I said in the decision. You are one belief away from becoming the next version of you. You are one belief and decision away from the life you want to live, the life you deserve to live. All right? One belief. Shift it one belief at a time. Don't tackle the whole everything. Shift it. One limiting belief at a time. Reframe it and then move on to the next. And reframe it and reframe it and reframe it till you believe it and move on to the next. Remember, transformation begins with how you think about who you are and what's possible. So there's a certain amount of trusting the process. Keep choosing in. Choose again and again. Keep recommitting to growth, even if it's uncomfortable. And it is. Growth isn't comfortable. Physically, it's not comfortable. When we're changing our bodies and we have to step outside of our comfort zone, it's uncomfortable. But decide today who you want to be. Decide today who you want to be. Okay, so we're going to close with this week. Notice where you might be telling yourself a story that keeps you small. We love our stories. Oh, I've always struggled. I'm this, I'm that. Flip the script. Flip the script. Choose growth. Choose belief. This is where transformation begins. I promise you, this is where transformation begins, and it is magical. Is it messy? Is it uncomfortable? Will there be obstacles? Yes. But is it worth it? Is it fulfilling? Is it freedom? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about today. But I just want to go into briefly, for those of you that want to stay on for a little exercise, as if we're kind of coaching together. So that was my topic on fixed mindset versus growth mindset and your belief in yourself and how growth mindset is all about belief and how we can shift that. But now let's talk about rewiring our fixed mindset thoughts. If you want to stay on, if you want to go a little bit deeper with this. All right. So spot it, shift it. Spot it, shift it. Like with the fire hose, what do they call fire extinguishers? And they've got like the KISS. I don't even know what you're supposed to, I can't remember what you're supposed to do. Spot it, shift it. Okay, so let's take a moment and go inward. I want you to ask yourself, where in my life am I playing small because I think I'm not capable of more? It could be your body. It could be your energy. It could be your work, your career. Maybe it's that little voice that says, I'll never lose the weight. I've always been the heavy one, or I'm just not disciplined. I always give up. I always fail, or I don't have what it takes to launch that thing and change my life or change my career at this point in my life. These thoughts, that's your fixed mindset talking. It is not truth. I've seen people go into new careers in their 40s and their 50s. It is not truth. It is a mental habit, and you get to choose your habits. It is not truth. It is a mental habit. Okay, so spot it, shift it. Number one, spot it. What's a limiting belief that keeps looping in your mind lately? Say it out loud or write it down or do both. Don't give it a lot of energy though. Don't say it too loud, but spot it. What is a limiting belief that keeps looping in your mind lately? So you write it down and now shift it. Now ask, what would the growth version of this thought sound like? What would the growth version of this sound like? What would a successful person that never gives up, how would they look at this belief? I haven't figured it out yet, but I can learn. Maybe. Or this is hard because I'm growing. I used to run from discomfort. I truly did. I was like, oh, it's a sign I'm not supposed to do this. And now I recognize it as a sign I'm on the right track. This is hard because I'm growing. Or, think of those times you have been successful instead of focusing on all the times you feel you weren't, and say, I've overcome hard things before. We all have. We've all gone through hard things, maybe things we thought would break us, and we came out of it. I've overcome hard things before. I can do it again. I can do it again. That one shift in perspective, that's where all change starts. It's just one shift. It's putting on a different colored glasses. So this is your invitation. Choose one thought this week and shift it. Speak to yourself like someone who is growing, like somebody who can, because you are and you can. I promise you. There are not exceptions to this. If you want it, if you decide, then work on that belief and make it happen. Thank you all so much for joining me. This was fun getting into this topic because we can all grow and we can all expand in this area, and it's continual work. So thank you so much for being here with me. I look forward to the next time, and please share this with a friend that who might benefit from this. Drop us a review, leave us a rating, and thanks so much for taking the time to be here. Look forward to next time. Bye. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Up Level, Real Health, Real Talk. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step in your health journey, one that nourishes not just your body, but your mind and spirit as well. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you found value in today's episode, please leave a review. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep thriving. And remember, true wellness is a journey, and you are on the right path.